Just a small disclaimer to our D&D fans that are watching the DNdoofs. I apologize, but the first few episodes do have some sound discrepancy that I was unable to edit out properly. So, enjoy, but also do realize that this was part of the learning process as we started to get better at making a D&D campaign. Thank you so much, and I do hope you enjoy this episode.
Welcome, everybody. Let me introduce our players. We have Aurin, played by Audacia, Rogue, played by Remi, Pharaoh, played by Geisaphage, and Kerassil and Zafira, played by Chef. And of course, there's me, your DM, Asian Fasha Gamer. And together we are the DNdoofs.
Alrighty then, hello everybody and welcome to another exciting episode of the DNdoofs. We've got Geisaphage, we got Chef, we got Oda, and we got Remi. All the gang is here today, and we're returning to the story.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Good enough.
Well, Doofs, what'd you expect?
True. Alrighty then, let's set the scene for us coming back into this episode today, shall we? Alright, let's take a second to reintroduce our characters, and also we do all have an announcement for this stream and going forward, including with the content of the stream that will be posted on YouTube and Spotify, which is, there is now the ability to request shoutouts from the characters or the DM in character voice, and of course, that also counts towards comments made on the YouTube and Spotify. Alrighty then, let's let everybody have a chance to introduce themselves, starting with Geisaphage.
I'm Geisaphage. I'm also a D&D content creator. I mostly do memes, but I'm also working on a Digimon supplementary rule set for 5e. I'm playing Dr. Pharos Hyloon, a Drow/Darkborn doctor, artificer warlock.
Hello, name's Audacia. How's it going? I am playing Aurin, the Draconian Bard.
What's up, guys? I'm Remi. I make automotive-based content, mostly like drifting and sim racing type stuff on YouTube, Tentacle Motorsports. I play Rogue Furt, the greaser artificer, Jatarian elf.
And finally, Chef.
Hi, everybody. I'm Chef. I'm the special one of the group. I'm playing actually two characters. I am playing a Squirrelfolk Beastmaster Ranger named Kerassil and the Gem Dragonborn or Sapphire Gem Dragonborn named Saphira Strongclaw, or I think that's her last name. It's my own character, and I fucking forgot her last name. I did that last time too. But I think I did it to Kerassil. But anyway, I've got my fingers in all sorts of content. I just came back to streaming a couple of weeks ago under hey_I'm_chef. I've got my nostalgic podcast, N2O, or Nostalgic Nerd Out. And I've got like 17 other projects in the fire. So yeah. This should be fun.
You sound so sure about that.
Geisaphage, you asshole. The Rattata and Jewel.
Alrighty then. So, now that we've reintroduced everybody, and of course, thank you to all of y'all who have joined us today. And just to reiterate for anybody who is just joining us for today's little DNdoofs podcast, there is also a way for y'all, the viewer, to be able to interact with us. There are channel points that you can redeem to request shoutouts from either our players in character or myself as one of the NPCs from the campaign. And of course, these shoutouts will be done for the next episode, and they also count towards comments made in the edited content that will be posted on YouTube and Spotify. And I do appreciate all of y'all for being here. Thank you so very much. Now, is everybody ready for some DNdoofs? Alrighty then, let's get on into today's episode of the DNdoofs. Let's set the scene and do a little recap of what happened in the last episode. Previously on the DNdoofs, our heroes met up within the tavern. Here, they met up with each other, as well as some rambunctious members of the tavern. Some boys came in with their robots, known as the Perky Pot Boys, and there was a fight. Later on, they would all get together and hear a scream. What exactly is amiss? Well, let's find out, shall we?
Dun 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 dun.
Now, in the last episode as we left it, our heroes heard a scream from behind the tavern, and they jumped to action, all of them making their way to the back of the tavern. And there, Aurin, Roke, Saphira, Kerassil, and Dr. Pharos are approaching a scene where they see a few bodies.
Would you say they're somebodies?
Wah, wah, wah.
Okay. I'm gonna get up in the air a little bit and just do a look around to see if I can see anybody like from an aerial viewpoint, aside from the bodies, while the others, I'm assuming, are going towards them.
So, as you are in the air and you take a look at the scenery around you, you see an odd mist covering the ground. And from the
Where
mist...
is the mist?
The mist is all around. Essentially, it's light enough that you can see right through it, but it's there, but it doesn't seem like it's right.
Does that mean we could have missed the left mist?
That's it. I'm out of
Remi quits. Remi quits the campaign right there.
Yeah, Remi has to leave so he can take Faja to the hospital because he knocked himself out.
Anyways, as this mist starts to become more apparent, you start to see from the ground emerging, and you hear sounds of groaning. As 1, 2, 3 undead pop up from the ground. 2 of them are right next to Saphira and Pharos. Well, underneath
Remember,
Saphira.
at the end of the... okay.
Now, in this instance, I'm gonna need everybody to roll initiative.
Don't let me down.
Alrighty then. So, as the order goes first, it's Remi's move.
All right. So just to be clear, we came around in a nutshell. We came around the corner. We saw dead bodies, mist, and the dead bodies animated, or there's dead bodies and zombies.
I do apologize if I wasn't clear about that. So, there are dead bodies and there are zombies at the moment. Currently, there's only 3.
So mist rolled in, zombies became apparent. I guess based on where I'm standing, I'm gonna I have my tool here, and it's got the returning infusion on it. I'm gonna check that shit at the I guess the closest one to me. It seems right in front of me ish. Decent. We got a natural 18 plus 6, so well over 20.
Well, seeing as they have natural armor, also known as living leather, although this is undead leather, yeah, that definitely hits.
It's a little soft, malleable. 8 points bludgeoning damage.
Alrighty then. Now, Roke or Remi, would you like the chance to be able to describe how you're doing this, or would you like me to do it for you?
Not that you can take it.
Alrighty then. So what you all see is holding his trusty wrench, and he tosses it, and you see it just go flying right at this undead's head. And you see it make this sickening indent into this undead's face. There is now a imprint of this wrench in this undead's face, while it sickeningly crunches underneath the weight of this metal weapon. And as it begins to fall, it returns magically, almost reversing in its arc right back into Roke's hands.
I guess if you can dodge a wrench, you can't dodge a ball.
Beat me to it.
Now, the undead will make its way towards Remi and take a strike at you. And rolling to hit, it rolls a wonderful, resounding, powerful 7.
Yeah, that hits. No, I'm just kidding. That hits.
What's your dex, 2?
3.
Please tell me Roke just like very calmly just one half sidestep to the right, watches it hit the ground next to him.
Pretty much.
He just does one of these, just lean.
Oh yeah, no, you just see this undead shamble towards him, but its face being crushed in, can't really see, can't really do much when it comes to being coherent, and you just watch it shamble kind of past him and fall. With the next turn being Saphira's.
You said there's one right underneath me, right?
Yes, literally right underneath you.
Okay, so I know what Saphira's gonna do. She's gonna hover for a second and let Kerassil get, a good grip on her shoulder so that way he's sitting like right here. Because, he was just kind of holding on to her collar as she took off super fucking fast. She's going to use her battle gauntlets and superhero landing on top of the one underneath her. Fist down, fucking other arm out, fucking one leg extended, the other one, bunched up underneath. Oh wait, no, the superhero landing is the one knee to the ground, one in the opposite fist, and the other arm up, not the Black Widow stance.
One punch!
Alright, what's the number?
Nat 20. I guess that also means we get to see how Alan does critical damage.
So, you have Kerassil holding on to Saphira, right?
He has moved up into his crouched sitting position on her shoulder that he usually rides in.
Alright, this is how this is gonna go. First, I need you, for Kerassil, to roll either a dex or a strength check. Either one's your choice.
Where's my dex? Okay, yeah, I'm doing dex. +5? And that would be a 18.
Okay. So, Kerassil's holding on for dear life. But he's holding on. But you see Kerassil just flapping as Saphira drops. And I mean drops. All of her weight is going downward. And the force of Newton's gravity is carrying her almost comet-like speeds down onto this undead. Now, I need Pharos to roll either a dex or a constitution check. Your choice.
I'm definitely going with Dex on that one.
I was gonna say, Pharos doesn't look that close.
That is an 18 total.
Alright, so as Saphira comes rocketing down, Pharos gets a quick look just to see exactly what's going to happen. And he notices that Saphira's going to land right on top of this undead. This undead's body is not going to be able to withstand this force. And there's going to be shrapnel and debris. So Pharos jumps out of the way and just barely misses the rain of viscera and rotting flesh and bones that comes from what is, as the smoke and mist moves away, is a crater left behind by Saphira. Whereas Kerassil is just holding on and dangling on her collar and just hanging there.
Wow. Well, fuck, Saphira. A little bit of fucking warning. She doesn't even respond. She's in superhero landing mode.
So that kind of squashes the turn for one of the undead, literally.
Keyword squash.
Now, the undead that is furthest from everybody starts to make its way towards everyone. And Aurin's still in the sky, right? Hasn't come down yet?
No, you started combat before I could land.
So at the moment, you just all you can see is this shambling towards Roke, this undead. And as this undead does this, you see a second undead, or another undead, pop up from under the earth right next to Saphira.
Are you sure it's not the one that I just drove into an early grave?
No, that one is, over there, and over there, and over there.
I have one question. When Saphira hit the ground, did she pop the other one out like a chipmunk?
That's what I was just gonna say. Squish the matter into the ground, and it formed another one out of the other side.
You can think of it like that.
Great, now
you know?
we're playing Whack-A-Zombie?
So
I just realized Faja has DM/everyone else.
So the undead that pops up next to Saphira is actually wearing armor and is actually holding a weapon, unlike the other three, well, now two, undead. Taking a swing at Saphira for 14.
Ah, it meets it beats.
I look at it and go, isn't that sort of a little big for you, douche nozzle? I'm using cutting words.
I'm not gonna lie, when that one pops out of the ground next to Saphira, she looks at Kerassil and goes, well, it seems like I hit this one so hard, another one has popped up.
You use cutting words, which you do attempt to do, but there's only one issue. You realize that this undead is unable to be charmed.
Oh well, I tried.
So it will strike you for two damage. So as this undead takes a swing at Saphira, it gets distracted by Aurin's words and peeks over at Aurin as it makes its strike, causing it to just barely glance off of Saphira's elbow, causing a little scratch.
Quick question. It heard me, right?
It heard you.
Not gonna lie, Saphira's just kind of like shaking out her arm, going, oh, ow, fuck, funny bone, funny bone, funny bone.
Which leads us into Pharos' turn.
Pharos is going to look at the one by Saphira and kind of ignore it. She can handle that. I'm going to attack the one farthest away under Aurin. I'm going to shoot it.
Master has given Pharos a Glock.
Alright, Pharos, roll for your attack, please.
12 damage.
Alrighty then. Saphira, Kerassil, and Roke see, well, actually all of you really, because you're all looking in the same direction. You see, Pharos pull out his Glock and point it directly at that undead and just expertly take a shot. The bullet, without even missing a step, goes right through this undead's head. And you see right through its forehead. There's a nice, good size hole right there. The undead sort of just crumples in front of you.
I think that's it for me. I don't think I need to move.
I don't need to move, I have a Glock.
Which leads us into Kerassil's turn.
Alright, well, Kerassil pats Saphira on the shoulder, she nods, and he hops his happy ass off and scurries up to the building, scurries up the side, and takes a vantage point on the first little awning gutter thing, so that way he can use some range. And he is going to hit it with a bow, which I haven't spent much time looking at his character sheet since we made it, so give me a second.
You're going after the one that's next to Saphira, right?
Oh, of course. Hold on.
And just to clarify, just so you all know, the one next to Saphira is still active, and then the one next to Roke is still active, even though it's currently prone.
Okay, so I'm going to take a shot with the longbow. That would be a carry the 2 minus a 1 multiplied by 3. So, that'd be an 8 damage.
From from everybody else's perspective, you see Kerassil jump off of Saphira's shoulders and scurry on all fours as quickly as he can, all the way, and much like in squirrel fashion, makes his way right up to the ledge of the building, turns around, takes aim with his bow. You see this 2.5-foot tall squirrel with a bow that's of, appropriate size for a 2.5-foot tall squirrel. Take aim and fire. But as soon as the arrow leaves his fingers, it immediately comes from toothpick to full-size arrow. And you see it pierce the shoulder of this undead right through the armor, but it's not enough to stop it from moving. Which brings us to Aurin.
Yeah, undead. I hate undead. They're like resistant to half the shit I can do. And you said the one by the two artificers is on his butt right now, right?
Yes, currently prone.
Okay. I'm gonna pull out my rapier and pretend it's a pogo stick. And I'm gonna fly over and literally land, put my rapier under my feet, and land on this thing.
Man, apparently I just inspired everybody to do like superhero landing shit.
Superhero dive bomb powers activate.
10 points of piercing.
What you all see is you see Aurin draw from his waistband his rapier and point it downward, and now he officially looks like a bee. Ready to sting. And he just drops. Wings upward, tucked in, and he goes down. And you just see him, speed gaining. It's almost like watching a jet gain speed as he comes down onto this undead. This unfortunate undead who's laying down and his face is already smashed in. But he pierces this undead straight through. His rapier going into the ground, straight through this undead, as you see this undead just flail and go, "Wah!"
As my bonus action, for the fun of it, I'm gonna look over and go, "Hey, Saphira, do you think you can punch that thing's head off?" Bardic inspiration.
Which brings us back to Roke.
Alrighty then. So there's the one laying down by me. Is he dead? Did I catch that?
He's not dead. He's still somewhat moving, but he is pinned underneath Oda.
Let's see if I can go for the fatality move. See if I can just swing to the back of the head, kind of maneuver.
Oh, come on. Do a full golf swing with that wrench.
All right, golf swing. I'm assuming attack roll. Yeah, dude, my golf swing is so good.
4.
5. Yeah, 4. 5 points.
So all of y'all see Roke take a stance, legs spread wide, back hunched but straight, arms straight, and his wrench positioned right there, and he just takes almighty swing, and you see the head just pop right off of the body, bounce, bounce, bounce. The body is no longer moving, but the head is still going.
I do the arm shrug thing, before I do the swing, and then after I'll hold the thing out as it goes flying through the air.
As you hit it, I'm literally putting my hand like this and going like this to follow the head.
I'm sure we're both hosed with some blood if there is still blood available in said zombie.
Not exactly blood, but something.
Goo.
Just as long as it's not white, we're okay.
Oh my.
Wrong head.
Alrighty then. With Remi's turn.
It was never established.
With Remi's turn done, I do think that this is a good point to take a small break before we come back.
Hey everyone, I'm Caleb, or as you know me as Hey I'm Chef. I am a somewhat content creator. I've kind of taken a break on making the actual content and just doing stuff here with Alan or Asian Faja Gamer. We have Monday, Bunch of Goofs, the livecast podcast that him, Oda, and myself do. And every other Friday we have the DNdoofs, a D&D podcast that we are putting together. So if you want to see this face on anything right now, it's with Alan's stuff, or you can follow me on all my socials at hey_I'm_chef. Until then, I will see you guys later. Have fun with the content. Peace.
Greetings, everybody. My name is Audacia. My better half and I have a FlossTube channel, which is a podcast about needlepoint crafting, over on YouTube called The Slovak Farm. I also stream live on Twitch Saturdays and Sundays and during the afternoon playing various games that fit my fancy.
Alrighty then, everybody. Let's get back into the campaign, shall we? I appreciate y'all sticking by for the break, and I hope that everybody is enjoying themselves. Now then, Roke just finished their turn and ended up golf balling an undead's head. And now it's time for the undead. What occurs next is the undead that is next to Saphira raises from its side a horn.
Can I use the reaction that I don't have to punch it in the throat?
Sure, we can hypothetically think about you punching this thing in the throat while it actually makes its action. You stare at it angrily. Saphira just staring at it, thinking, stop.
Actually, Saphira likes to fight so much, she's doing the Willy Wonka thing. No. Stop. Don't do that. Police, help.
Anyways, you see this undead bring this ethereal horn, this horn up to its mouth, and you hear an ethereal sound. I'm not dicking it. Okay, shut up. Anyways, you hear an ethereal sound come from this horn, and the pieces and bits of the undead that y'all have been mutilating come together.
That's gonna take quite some time for the one that I fucking cannonballed.
So how long does it take the head to get back? We did give it a good distance.
Think of it like, you know, Mighty Morphin Magic Power Ranger style.
Do I still have this torso pinned to the ground, or did it launch me off when it started to reconstitute itself?
No, it didn't launch you off. It's more like you saw the torso literally just tear itself away, and pieces of it just start to kind of think. You ever watch Beetlejuice? But you see these body parts come together, and they all of a sudden mutate into this hulking, undead, abominable form standing before you, and it looks at all four of you, because none of you are in the sky right now, right?
Carousel's on the ledge of the
Well, that's why
of the building.
Yeah, no, that's why I said 4. Because
No,
it can't look at you right now. Let's just say that. I'll give you the reason why for a second. So yeah,
I guess so.
Yeah, this hulking form, which has no neck but a face, which is why I can't look up, is just looks at you, all 4 of you, and you just hear from its mouth,
Hey, you guys!
what this hulking form does is charge at both Aurin and Roke, because you two are closest together, and this thing is big enough to hit both of you. So when it does charge you, I'm gonna need both of you to make a dex saving throw.
16.
A 10. Tenor is what I got.
Aurin, real quickly, can you do me a favor and roll a strength, just a strength roll for me?
18 with a +0.
Perfect.
He got that there natural 18.
So you see Aurin literally just, somersault. Yeah, that's the word. Somersault from his position while still holding onto his rapier, pulling it out of the ground, and doing a almost Olympic landing right away from the charging undead. Whereas Roke, you will see Roke attempt to jump away, but move too slowly to get out of the way quick enough, and gets hit slightly by the beast, and takes 5 points of damage as you see him go, merry-go-rounding away from this undead.
You spin me right round, baby, right round.
Remi is also knocked back 5 feet from this hit.
Who's Remi?
Sorry, Roke is also knocked back 5 feet from this hit. Now I'm gonna need.
Remi, I didn't know you got transported into Dragonlance.
Jesus Christ.
Oh no, I think that'd be bad for our team as a whole. I feel like Roke's a little stronger than Remi.
Oh, throwing shade.
You're not wrong, sir.
I don't know. Remi's got the hair power. He could just throw it, throw his hair back.
Style power.
All right, so I'm gonna need Kerassil to roll a just strength check.
Strength check? Oh shit. With my bonus, it's a 5.
So Kerassil attempts to hold on tight to the ledge as this hulking undead beast smacks into the wall of the tavern and falls face first into some goo that was left over from the transformation.
Oh boy. Is he prone or did he land on his feet?
He landed on his feet.
He just splashes down into it and looks at his, picks up his foot and picks up the other foot and God damn it, not this. Why me? Why always me? This is going to take forever to get out of my fur. God damn it.
I do remember, because it's been a little bit, Chef. I did make a request of Saphira and use magical powers to do it.
Oh, I know. It hasn't gotten around to her turn yet.
Well, it actually is Saphira's turn. Well, bam!
Well, bam! Alright. Well, she just smiles really wide. And she's like, ooh, this just made it so much more fun. Now I got something bigger to hit after I get done with you. And she just does the whole boxer thing where she takes her stance, pops her arms and everything, gets into pulls up her hands, and she's gonna follow through on her request. And fucking battle gauntlet straight to the fucking face. Come on, dice, don't hate me now. I done got another nat 20. It's the heart of the cards in dice form.
I don't even know what to. I don't even know what to fucking say, you asshole. Okay. So here's what happened.
Shit, I wasn't ready for it.
Saphira, you just see, all of y'all see Saphira kind of stretch her arms out wide, right? Like she's about to give this undead a big old hug. And she just claps. But this clap is loud. It's thunderous. It's so loud that it can almost deafen you. And this undead is now an undead pancake.
I mean, I was going for a, punch and everything, but apparently I just fucking learned thunderclap on the fly.
With the thunderclap.
All you hear from Aurin is, close enough!
And this undead is no longer moving, not doing anything, not even groaning. It's just flat.
She just looks at it, shakes her head, spits, and pivots.
Which leads us into Pharos' turn.
It's just the big one left, correct?
It's just the big one left, yes.
Cool. I'm just gonna shoot it too. Feels appropriate. 10 damage. I like a blam.
So you see Pharos move quickly and skid to a stop as he turns to aim and take his shot with his Glock. You see the bullet pierce this beast, but it does nothing more than turn and open its mouth, and you hear once more,
Eros is gonna look a little concerned, just like,
bringing us to Kerassil's turn.
Kerassil's not exactly one to, turn down a fight. When the big one turned to Pharos, did it turn his back to Kerassil at all or anything?
No, honestly, the creature still technically has you in line of sight.
Actually, I got a question on that. Does it have multiple sets of eyes?
It's got 2 beady eyes on its chest-like face.
Okay, well, Kerassil is gonna, being 2.5 feet tall, probably only comes up to this thing's knee or thigh. He's gonna pull out his dagger, or one of his 2 daggers, which, so Kerassil being Kerassil, he doesn't carry daggers. He carries 2 crombids, which the blades are rematerialized world serpent fangs with handles on them. So what I want to do is dash between its legs and slash at the back of the knee for the tendons.
I'm going to need you to roll for dexterity to see if you can actually succeed, and then roll for your attack.
Unnatural 20 for dex. That would be a 7 damage.
Alright, so from most of y'all's perspective, you see this nimble little squirrel man go, and you see him jump, skid, go underneath this hulking giant undead, and slash right behind its knee. One leg goes down, but another leg grows in its place.
Yes, I got to hit, guys, and turns around and goes, ah, fuck.
You're doing great.
And that brings us to Oda's turn.
Alright, I got a question for you. And I'm assuming I would just know this being myself. If I flew directly above this thing and used my breath weapon, would I only hit it?
Yeah, that's definitely doable. If you want to do a maneuver like that, I'm going to need you to roll dex to make sure that you can successfully accomplish this.
Yeah, let's see if I fly into my face. Not one.
In your attempt to do this, Oda, I apologize, but as Aurin jumps and opens his wings, he accidentally catches his wings on one of the branches, which causes him to tumble and close his mouth before he can actually unleash a breath weapon.
Kerassil just looks over and taps him on the shoulder and goes, it's okay, buddy. Saphira does that sometimes too.
Fucking branches. I'm gonna look at Roke and go, can you kill that thing for me, please? Giving you bardic inspiration.
Which brings us to Roke's turn, who has bardic inspiration now.
All right, I feel very inspired. I will get close enough to try to make a throw at it. I'm not feeling bold. Although inspired, I'm not feeling inspired enough to get too close to it. So I'll try to throw me wrench at it for 7 points of damage. I'm a good shot with my wrench, man. What can I say?
Didn't you hear it at the beginning? If you can't dodge a wrench, you can't dodge a ball.
Yeah, you see Roke grab his wrench, tighten up his grip, and just toss it. You see it twirl and fly and smack right into the flesh of this giant hulking, and it makes a sickening, almost moist thud into this thing's flesh. As it causes damage, you see it flinch in pain. As the wrench comes back, a face appears in the writhing mass of flesh that is this undead. It's the face of a child, and it's just crying. Now, I need all of you to, for 1 second, roll for perception.
That's a 6.
13.
9.
8 for Saphira, and 21 for Kerassil.
Alrighty then, so the only ones that actually notice this is Aurin and Kerassil. When they are looking at this hulking undead flesh beast, they also notice that its foot is actually not on top of the dirt, but in the dirt, rooted into it. And it seems like its foot is pulsating, like it's taking something from the ground.
I point at that foot and go, get that out of the ground.
Which leads us into Saphira's turn. Oh wait, no, not Saphira's turn. It's this undead's turn. My bad. So, what this undead does, as it turns to look at Roke, it starts to writhe and get bigger and bigger. And you start to see more hands grow from this thing. And another face appears on its shoulder. And it's of a young woman. and you just hear ever so faintly in a ragged voice coming from this face, "Help! Help!" And this thing charges at Roke. Also technically charges at Kerassil, which I'm going to need both of y'all to roll a dex saving throw here.
19.
18.
I don't want to get slammed this time.
Very nice, and I totally get it. So, what occurs here is both Kerassil and Roke jump opposite sides away from this writhing mass of flesh, which as it moves, you'll notice it disconnect from this hole in the ground. And as it steps, each step seems to dig into the dirt with only one of its feet, though, and which it's particularly its right foot. As it charges, it misses both of you and ends up right next to Saphira, which brings us to Saphira's turn.
Saphira calls over to Aurin and Kerassil. At this point, kind of irritated that she keeps having to, or that, you know, she keeps hearing like the kids and all that fun shit. So the proper butler kind of breaks a little bit, and you just hear, "Oi, you two, Dragonborn and Kerassil, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this shit?" Basically, I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do. So she knows how to punch, and I don't want to keep punching shit that has kids inside of it.
I go, clear away from it.
Can Saphira try to shove it into the middle of the open space away from everyone?
You can. You're going to have to roll for a strength check on that one, but yeah.
Don't forget this counts as an ability check.
Max 6! That makes it a 21.
Saphira pushes this gargantuan, writhing mass of flesh and hands over. And as she pushes it over, it continues to writhe, and 6 eyes appear from onto its back. Each one of these eyes are different. Some are blue, some are red, some are green. So, I'm gonna want Saphira to roll a perception check real quickly.
Push to talk's a wonderful thing.
Yes, it
15
is.
with my +2.
All right, so what Saphira also notices as these eyes erupt from the spine of this creature is these eyes are crying, but they're not tears. It's odd, red, crystalline structures that are falling from its eyes.
Oi, you other Dragonborn, Aurin. This thing's had some weird shit going on with its eyes and crying red.
Which does...
And can I use my...
Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, can I use my movement to back up a little bit so that way it is in the middle of the open space and with nobody around it?
Yeah, I mean, you already pushed it away from you, so it's not near you, so it can't take an attack of opportunity, so you're more than welcome to move.
Okay, I just back up a few more feet.
All right, and that brings us to Pharos' turn.
All right. Pharos was pointing at like the face. Oh, sorry. Pharos was pointing at the faces with his gun, but after hearing everyone, he's gonna put his gun away, and I'm gonna cast Mind Sliver on it. Sliver. Which that is a 12 intelligence.
That does not save. Oh, no save.
Cool. It's gonna take cool max damage 6 psychic damage, and it has a -1d4 on its next saving throw.
What you see is Pharos put his hands in a very odd formation as he whispers some words, and a green light appears from his hands and piercing straight into this creature. And it writhes and screams once more. And as it writhes and screams, you see it change even further, violently almost pulsating as its hands go into itself. More eyes start to appear, but it's becoming more of a amalgam blob of flesh and eyeballs.
Pharos' eyes just kind of flicker, like turn like smoky, just for a brief second. And then I want to move as far away as I can.
Did Pharos just hurt this thing with gang signs?
Which brings us to Kerassil's turn after the gang signs.
Kerassil is going to... I'm going to use my bonus action before my action.
Okay.
I'm going to cast Ensnaring Strike.
It don't beat a 12. For some reason, the dice like y'all tonight, but it don't like me tonight.
So yeah, 5 damage. And it's stuck. So
you see, once again, Kerassil knock another arrow onto his bow and fire. And of course, once again, this bow, the moment it leaves his fingers, grows instantly from a toothpick size to a normal size as it pierces one of the chubby, fat, grotesquely wet toes of this amalgam flesh form. It starts to sprout with hundreds of tendrils of thorny vines that encase this screaming, writhing mass, where it starts to grow eyes, and in between the eyes more faces start to appear, crying and screaming, begging for help in pain. Which brings us to Aurin's turn.
Okay, I'm gonna get 10 feet away from this and make sure nobody's on either side of it. He taps the jewel on his book and signs in the air, going Sonus Fluctus, and casts Thunderwave at level 2. What happens when something that's currently tied up in vines gets launched? 15 points of thunder damage.
So you see this flesh form, which is writhing and screaming and crying, just start to get torn to pieces. Bits are being launched from every part that is not tied down by thorns. This creature is still there, but there are large chunks missing from it. From the gaping wounds, quickly flesh starts to form over them, and even more faces appear. The pieces of flesh that were tossed and strewn into the grass start to smoke.
I look at Kerassil and go, keep it up, arrow buddy.
Which, at the end of this round, I'm going to bring us to another break.
Hi, I'm Geisafage, and I play Dr. Pharaoh's Hyloon of DNdoofs. A little about me: I make short-form, funny D&D videos, as well as run my own D&D campaigns called Blood of the Father and Digimon World Evolution. I make a lot of homebrew that I post on D&D Beyond, as well as my Patreon, where I also post a ton of maps for virtual tabletops. I am also working on a free handbook for a Digimon-themed 5e supplement. And lastly, I stream a random assortment of indie games and RPGs on Twitch and YouTube. You can find me on Facebook, Insta, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch if you're interested. I hope you're enjoying the DNdoofs, and come say hi during the stream sometime.
Well, hey everybody. Did you know that Agent Fasha Gamer has a Patreon?
That's right, and Random Skull is here to help tell you about it.
And that's right, we're doing this announcement together.
And when you subscribe to Patreon, you get to see content early, and of course make requests for content on YouTube, and even on Twitch and TikTok. It's all up to you.
And of course, if you want to support Agent Fasha Gamer, check out these links. And of course, there are also links in the link tree.
And remember, when you subscribe to Patreon, you can also leave a message saying that Random Skull is better than Mr. Announcer.
Now, was that even really necessary?
Okay then. So, let's get back into it. You have this writhing mass of flesh, which is just continuously mutating. It still has eyes, but has new faces that are growing on it. Each one of these faces crying out in pain. Some of them even able to articulate full sentences, begging for help, that they're alive in here. And of course, there are pieces of this writhing mass of flesh that were tossed and strewn across the battlefield, which are now, for some odd reason, starting to smoke, leaving our heroes in the position they are now. Currently, the turn is now Roke's.
There are trees over by Pharos, yes?
Yes, there are.
And the monster is where we see it on the screen there?
Yes, I tried to make sure there was an accurate representation of where everybody was and where the monsters are.
Is it still held by the vines at the moment?
Yes, it is still being held down by these vines.
So if you allow it, could I possibly, being as my wrench will return to me, could I affix the rope that I recently put on my person, because I made that stretcher, to the end of it, and try to throw it? I have the within range is 20 feet, maximum range, like a disadvantage up to 60 feet. So can I throw it around them and then try to do like a double cleat hitch around one of the trees as a way of, like, you know, kind of roping it in a bit?
You know what? I'm gonna allow it, but roll it as a damage. Roll it as an attack roll.
17.
Alrighty then. So you see Roke affix a rope to his wrench and yeehaw lasso toss this thing, and you see it. You see the rope essentially snake its way around this being, creating an almost cradle, and then anchoring it to the tree. As it returns to Roke, it tightens even further.
Magic knots, baby.
Which brings us to this undead's turn. So it takes 6 damage at this point. You see the thorns constrict around this writhing mass of flesh, and it pierces even further in. But this time, are you all looking at this particular thing right now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
Can't imagine we'd be looking anywhere else.
Yeah, it is the sole point of observation. So
Your call as to whether or not I've completely moved away from it and started. I would look at it when I'm done moving, but I imagine moving in the process away from it. I don't know. That would be your call.
Alright, because you're the one lassoing, I think you'd be the only one not looking at it. But I need everyone else to roll for perception.
13.
Saphira got a 5. And do you really want to know what Kerassil got?
Let's just say Kerassil succeeded, Jesus.
Nat 20 plus 2.
Everybody but Saphira and Roke notice is that the crystalline structures that this thing is crying from its spine eyes are starting to come together, almost like it's creating a cocoon. But you also notice that the thorns that are piercing into this writhing mass, which is continuously changing, are now drawing fresh blood. And as you notice it start to bleed, this mass starts to scream in utter pain, in unison almost. You hear maybe 10, 20 voices all together just screaming in pain.
I don't suppose any of us know Dispel Magic yet, do we? I don't know about you guys, but I kind of feel bad. Keep beating on these fucking kids and shit.
So, this being, for its turn, continues to increase the rate at which it starts to crystallize.
Wait, it's turning into a crystal now?
It's turning into the Philosopher's Stone.
Which leads us into Saphira's turn.
Alright, I pushed it. We did shit. It's still fucking up. The fuck do you want me to do?
I also want you to
Like,
roll a perception.
Another one?
Yeah.
Put it down.
14.
At the moment, because you didn't notice what was going on with the writhing mass at the moment, you didn't see the blood coming out of it at least, you notice that the sky is changing color. It's starting to turn from what was a sunset to an almost blood red.
Saphira draws back. As she's breathing in, you can start hearing the beginnings of thunder. And fucking just one go just opens her mouth and bellows out like the T-Rex from fucking Jurassic Park and fucking uses her breath attack, which is thunder. Crikey, that'll be a 10.
Starts to crack the crystal that is forming around this particular thing as it continues to writhe. But as it writhes, from underneath it, blood is pooling and gushing, and you could smell the acrid stench of this metallic, almost copper-like putrid smell just completely overtake your senses to the point where you can taste it in your mouth.
Oh shit. Oh, that smells horrible. Oh, who let one rip? Oh, god damn it, Kerassil, did you do this shit again? No more mead for you.
And as this smell starts to invade your senses, you notice that the plants and the ground around you is starting to decay.
Guys, he's stealing all the life energy from the world to make a spirit bomb.
Nah, man, the Tree of Might.
Which does bring us to Pharos' turn.
Bonus action, I'm gonna hex it. Let's go with Dex, and then I'm gonna shoot it. So 12 damage. Ow.
Y'all see Pharos just kind of twirl his gun, aim it, fire again. And the bullet goes right into the very center of the mass that is crystallizing. And the bullet does pierce. And you just see more blood come from the hole that is piercing. It's almost just gushing out. And it is this deep crimson red color. And the smell, the putrid, acrid, metallic smell increases.
And then Pharos is gonna move farther away again.
Fire and run, fire and run.
Which does bring us to Kerassil's turn.
So that tree that Aurin hit and failed to launch in, can Kerassil run up it? Or is he too far away from it?
You could probably reach it and go up halfway, but not all the way up.
I mean, I don't want to go all the way up, I just want to... Kerassil's a squirrel, he likes to do his stuff from a high vantage point.
Alright. So, y'all see Kerassil just make his way to the tree as quickly as possible. You look at it, the most you can tell is it is damaged, it is writhing, it is crying. You can see from the geyser of blood that's coming out, there are actual literal body parts that are just spilling out from this now.
Pharos just wants to shout out, it's like, don't feel bad, it's already gone, put it down.
With that, I guess Kerassil's gonna do the super fun, awesome thing that he does and just notch another arrow. Launch this one. 10 damage.
Y'all see Kerassil, make his way up that tree, knock another arrow, and release it. Shooting it out, and you see it, similar action. It turns from a toothpick size into immediately a full-size arrow as it pierces into this crystalline structure. But in this instance, the feathering on the arrow reacts to the crystalline structure, releasing this blinding flash of light, in which I need all of y'all to roll Constitution saving throw.
And 11.
13?
17 for Kerassil and 19 for Saphira. I rolled a 16 on both. I don't know what the fuck you want me to tell you.
In this instance, in this blinding light, for just a moment,
Blinded by the light.
each one of you are awash in complete darkness and alone. Each one of you sees in front of you what looks like a small babe, but it starts to come closer and closer. And as it comes closer, it becomes larger and larger until it is right in front of you. And it looks off. This babe is not fully formed. It is unborn, covered in veins and its stomach torn open, its eyes unopened, but it smiles with a full set of brown, grotesque fang. As suddenly as you see this, you are awash back into the battlefield that you are in.
So anybody else think we just met the BBEG?
I think we just met the BBEG in Caterpie form.
I was gonna shoot it.
I mean, Saphira was gonna punch it. Kerassil was gonna slash it.
Let me guess. We're done?
I mean, we're not done just yet.
Oh no, is it still alive?
Oh, the thing? Yes, the thing is still in front of you, but it's actually no longer moving. It's completely crystallized, though. There is still the putrid, disgusting smell, as well as the pooling blood that is still growing slowly, but the pooling blood is still starting to amass. Now, is there anything else that Kerassil would like to do in this instance?
Can I see if he recognizes anything about this transformation or anything? Because it doesn't seem like normal magic.
You can do a history. History roll.
14.
What you know is, at the very least, what you remember is stories of a time within Kryn's history of the emergence of crystalline figures that brought along with it chaos. That these were the heralds of chaos.
Alright, so from the tree, you just hear a... Oh, shit. Guys, this ain't gonna end well. This is not good. Fuck.
What do you see with your special eyes?
Kerassil does a very quick and rushed paraphrase of what Alan just said about, hearing stories about this being the Heralds of Chaos and all their fun shit. And yeah, guys, this doesn't bode well for a lot of things. And we should probably try to do what we can to make sure that this doesn't happen, because everything's going to really suck for a long time if we fail.
Has my patron said anything at all during this?
At the moment, your patron is silent. Now, this actually brings us to Aurin's turn.
Oh, would you like to know a lovely thing about crystals? They have disadvantage on their saving throw against this spell.
Shatter!
Yep. Perilous! It needs disadvantage, DC 15 con save.
I'm not doing the con saves. There's no con saves. Let me tell you right now. If it has a con save, you win.
Okay, that is 19 points of damage.
Alrighty then. So, you all hear from behind you, which causes you to turn around just a little bit to look at Aurin casting this brilliant spell. And you see around this crystalline structure a orb appear, and electricity kind of emanating from this orb as a thunderous and just deafening pop comes from this orb, causing this crystalline structure to just shatter into complete dust. But as this occurs, underneath it, what had formed was what seemed like a geyser, but instead of being lined with dirt and earth or rock, it is lined with flesh and bone, and the pooling of blood no longer is slowly coming. It is gushing. It is a geyser.
Shit. You will actually look at Aurin. He looks a little tired. Like, yeah, you can kind of guess that was one of his most powerful spells, and like that might have been like the last of his powerful spells. I mean, I just literally cast my 2 high spell slots, 1, 2. Yeah, now we have a blood geyser. Come on.
No fair.
And as you see this blood geyser coming out, you'll all also notice that all around you, while you have been fighting, everyone in the tavern is outside also fighting against undead abominations. The sky is turning a deep crimson red as clouds are forming, and you see lightning start to strike, and you hear thunder in the distance, but it doesn't sound right. There's something wrong with this storm.
Would I recognize it as, like, can I try to recognize if this is magical? Like, basically a variation of my spells?
Roll Arcana.
18?
So what you can gather from the energy of the magic that is around you, this is unlike anything you've ever felt before. And it is, as you attempt to do this, almost sickening to you to attempt to feel what this is.
I'm actually gonna bring up, this is bad magic. This is corruption. I know the blood geysers are clear devil away, but this is just foul magic. This
Upon,
is Ugh.
upon hearing him say that, can I also try to identify it?
In what way do you want to identify it as? Do you want to identify the magic source? I mean, what do you?
The magic itself. When he says dark, I feel like out of everyone here, I would be the most acclimated to that.
All right, if you wouldn't mind rolling an Arcana check for me.
That is a 19.
All right. As you attempt to understand exactly what this magic is and try to analyze it, you hear a voice in the back of your head, and all you hear is, "Don't."
Everyone, we might want to leave. Might be time to leave.
Ow, they're everywhere.
Just gonna point at Roke.
I got wheels.
I look over at Saphira and I go, I doubt you can throw that giant monstrous dog thing into that hole, can you? Probably too big?
Monstrous dog thing. What are you talking about?
The Berkey Boys toy.
Oh,
I want to literally shove their dog's face into the blood anus.
Okay, the Berkey boys are in their mechs and they're fighting as well, just so you know. So if you want to throw them in there, you can, but that go well.
Do they still have the overcompensator on both the robots too?
Yes, that is still on there. That isn't gone yet. You haven't done it. You haven't recast it, so it's still there.
Loud and proud meching around the battlefield.
Bro, can you fit us all?
Yeah, some of you guys gonna have to ride in the back, but I got space.
I mean, are we collectively deciding to fuck this shit? We're out.
This does feel like Fubar.
I launched the most powerful spells I know, and all I did was remove a crystalline butt plug from a blood anus.
Those are dragons. Those are dragons. Do we see those dragons?
So, as y'all are discussing this, you hear a rush of wind and a dark shadow that almost completely encompasses the ground as it flies over in a flash. And then another. And you look up and you see two dragons.
Colors?
One is blue and the other is black.
Roke, get the car, get the car.
I guess I will. Yeah, I will. I'm not fucking with that. I won't say nothing. I'll just post haste. I guess I'll start moving to it, try and go get it, and see if I can pick everybody up. I guess if they don't follow me, whoever doesn't follow me, I guess I'll see if I'll attempt anyway.
I'm gonna try to follow, but I also want to look up at something. Are the dragons looking like they basically? How do I put this? Do they look like they're here to help or here to harm?
At the moment, all you see them is flying, but before y'all actually get going, one of them lands in front of you. And as it lands, from the pool of sludge, 5 unknown beings appear, made of viscera and flesh, but holding weapons that you can't even imagine. The weapons that they're holding are essentially ones that haven't been created yet. They are unlike anything you've ever seen. They're not a sword, they're not a blunt object. They are of unknown and unseen origin.
Kerassil is down to GTFO.
Hello.
Please don't just say hello to the...
I actually look up at the dragon.
So, while Oda gets ready to do whatever the fuck he's getting ready to do, Kerassil, in an attempt to GTFO, is running around to grab his arrows.
I walk up to the dragon and go, "Hello, my majestic friend. How are we doing today in Draconic?"
Saphira hears this and looks at you and just shakes her head and retrieves Kerassil's arrow that's closest to her.
So, you attempt to talk to the black dragon that just landed. The black dragon looks at you, baring its teeth, and before it could say a word, you hear from the background an odd noise. It sounds like something mechanical powering up, starting to move very quickly. You hear crashing coming from the woods behind you, and out of nowhere, flying above Roke's head, that's trying to walk, towards moving away from the back of the tavern to the front, sees this, which is their cart, just jumping on its own, and it rams right into the schnoz of this black dragon, and it skids to a halt right in front of y'all. All doors open.
I ain't arguing.
Nope.
You already know where I'm sitting.
Get in, jackasses. We're doing cowardly shit.
As soon as the cart starts moving away, I want to just start taking pot shots, though. No, it's probably not going to do anything, but...
I'm actually going to look over at that dragon and go, so, is that the first time your nose has smelled anything good in a while, you little bitch? Vicious mockery.
So this dragon is dazed, gets hit with psychic damage, and gets shot.
As long as I can see it, I'm taking shots at it, as we're going away.
If you can hear me, I'm insulting it. Anything that gets close to the cart, I am tongue lashing its ass.
Yeah,
Really? Those are the words you want to go with?
So as y'all are driving away, you see the black dragon just pissed, writhing, not in pain, but in anger and annoyance, as you see Pharaoh's bullets just kind of hitting it all over its body. It's holding its head because it just took not only bludgeoning damage, but psychic damage. As y'all are still driving away, and as you're driving away, you notice that the red storm that y'all were just in is isolated to just the tavern in town. And as you are driving away from this scene, you see more blood geysers start to appear. You see giant towers of bone emerge from the ground, and you hear screams as you're driving away. But also, as you drive away, you see the Bucky Pot Boys running like a bunch of cowards.
Part of me wants to shoot at them, too.
So, Kerassil is in the back with Saphira, even though, he's small enough to ride in the front. But he, after the realization that this is like end of world type shit and everything else, he is just in the back, kind of holding his arrows, rocking back and forth, and stroking like the feathers, trying to comfort himself. And I don't know if anybody noticed the arrows, so I don't want to say anything yet.
Pharaoh's probably didn't. There was a lot going on.
I noticed the arrows did something cool, but I've seen so much weird shit. It's Tuesday. And that is the least important thing I've seen in the last 5 minutes. Oh, yeah, I was going to look at Rook and go, we should head to the capital. They might want to know that a blood geyser bone monster dragon mashup shit's going on out here.
Yeah, fair enough, man. Well, yeah, and I'll no objections here. I'm turning and burning anyways, so I'll head us in that, I guess, general direction. Do my best to navigate us as necessary.
At this current moment, y'all are driving down the road, which is a little bit bumpy because it's not a road made for carts. It's a road made for, well, people walking. Either way, y'all are driving down this road, and at this moment, as you are driving, what are y'all doing after you just witnessed all of this?
So, that's weird, right? I mean, I'm not from this area, but that doesn't happen, right?
I mean, again, Kerassil's just kind of like gently rocking back and forth, cradling his arrows. He's muttering to himself about like the old stories that he heard about the end of times and the fucking, agents of chaos and all this fun shit.
Would I have heard a story about something like this before?
Yes, actually, Aurin would definitely have heard stories about this, mainly because Aurin's home is near one of the sites where one of the great cataclysms caused by chaos in the past occurred.
Fuck chaos. Fuck chaos. Fuck chaos. God damn it! That's all you hear out of him.
Okay there, Jack.
You know those things of chaos that happen every now and then that like nearly destroy the world?
So the majority of the world knows these stories of these events, as the Great Cataclysm was the creation of the Burning Sea, which is right next to the kingdom of Solamnia, as well as the secondary event of chaos or cataclysmic chaos that occurred, which essentially broke apart the once whole continent of Taladas, which is now in pieces, and the very center of this particular continent mass or island mass at this point is surrounding a abyss that at the moment was thought to be inert, but the stories as of late from everybody has heard is that the abyss is active once more, and there have been tellings of demons that have been emerging at night.
Okay, I've read stories. I really wish I could say they were fictional stories about shit like this happening. This is the first chapter in a great cataclysm.
Shit.
Well, can this thing go faster?
I'll just
Honestly,
punch as fast as I can go, I guess.
I was about to say, for all of us, this is new. We're probably flying to us.
Yeah, and I mean,
You
not
guys
to
probably
be-
do feel like you're.
Sorry, go ahead, Remi.
It's also an extremely bumpy ride.
I was also going to say, with a fucking brass dragonborn and a gem dragonborn in the back, I'm sure it's kind of loaded down a bit.
Yeah, and actually, being the curious psycho he is, Orin looks over to Saphira and goes, "Random question before I forget. Are you resistant to thunder in the same way I'm resistant to fire?"
So she is back to the composed Saphira. So back to prim and proper. Yes. Why? Of course I am. That is generally how our race or our kind is. But thunder is what I tend to be more resistant to.
Okay, so if it means saving our lives, do you mind tanking a little thunder damage?
As long as I have a bit of warning, I will be able to tank just about anything.
And if you get knocked down, I can heal you up a little bit at least. But if you're resistant to it and say you have a giant mass flesh thing and you're the only person near it, I wanted to make sure I could try to launch the thing and not have to worry so much about if you get caught in it.
Yeah, that is zero consequence to me. If I am in the way, do all the thunder damage you would like.
And are you of a hardy build?
I feel like we would know that just looking at her.
Yeah, I mean she's as tall as a dragonborn can be, with size G tits and fucking just.
Out
She's
of
quite
character?
hardy. Now, as y'all are driving, Roke will notice that the Karthay is starting to sputter a little bit and slow down. And the engine starts to rev down as it gets slower and slower and slower. As the sun comes down, it is at a complete stop.
I try to keep my cool look and not look concerned.
Is the go part comes from the front, right?
Aye.
The part that literally just kissed the dragon?
I don't know how much of it that would be for Alan to determine.
I mean, you're gonna have to go out and take a look at your Karthay to determine how much it got damaged.
Yeah, I guess I'll coast on over. Then I'll hop on out and start investigating, I suppose.
I would like to help. Don't know much about carts, but maybe I can help put some eyes on it with him.
I'm actually. Is there any thing I can fly up and land on to get a little bit of height advantage to look around?
And a couple
to try to
points.
keep an eye out.
if you said it got dark too, there's also where are your side view mirrors would typically be on a normal vehicle. There's two lanterns hanging, as well as where headlights would typically be. I have my little those glowing infusions that you can infuse on mundane objects. I have two, like one in each socket, if you will. So when we go to investigate, if they're still present, I will remove one and attempt to use it as my flashlight.
Alrighty then. So as y'all do your investigation, I'm going to need you to roll for investigation to be able to determine exactly what's wrong with the vehicle.
While they're doing that, Kerassil unfletches the broken arrows and puts the feathers into a bag. But we're still the road is still surrounded by trees, right? Like we're not in a like city populated type area. We're still out in the middle of nowhere.
Would you mind rolling for perception?
Should I roll my investigation at disadvantage?
No, at advantage because you're helping him.
All right, that is
So-
a 24.
So do I roll mine an advantage then because he's helping me?
Yes.
All right, so I got a natural 20 for 23 total.
I'm at 18 for perception, by the way.
Carousel looks around. What you notice is that the road is sparsely planted, or there are sparse trees here and there. In the distance to the west, away from the road, there is a heavily forested area. And further on forward, you see the road going into a almost hilly zone, which is largely grassland, but not a lot of trees.
Okay, he just wanted to pop up into a tree with his bow out as kind of cover, but that obviously isn't going to happen with sparsely populated trees.
You hear, Aurin says, "Me and the other draconian can take wing, and you can sit on her shoulder as a perch."
I mean, he has Saphira just kind of nods, and I guess they or he jumps up on her shoulder, and they take flight as well.
All right. Now, as for Pharos and Roke, as they investigate the Karthay, you notice that the front panel, the shield panel of your grill of the Karthay, is dented, and part of the core is actually now exposed.
So I'm no expert, but that's not good, right?
Yeah, no, it's not supposed to look like that. Instinctively, I will cast Mending on the area and attempt to fix it.
As you cast Mending, you will hear the metal start to bend back in place, groaning and creaking, as it looks perfectly normal. Even with the shell placed proper, you will still hear a odd humming or hissing that may be coming from the core itself.
All right, fellas, she's gonna need a little work. We're gonna have to call it camp somewhere around here. We're not getting any farther anywhere tonight. I can get her up and running for the morning, but we stuck here now.
From our vantage point from above, do we see anywhere we could put the Karthay so that it's out of sight from the road?
May I assist from the ground for looking for anywhere that seems fitting for such a thing? As I now know that we got to go find a spot.
And yes, so you see Roke just looking around. Yeah, there's some dirt, some trees, there's some grass. And as Aurin looks around, from their vantage point, you'll notice that even though there's trees are sparsely growing, there is a few areas in which there are trees and bushes that can cover up and give you guys the cover that you need, as long as you keep your fires low.
I'm gonna fly down and point out. I'm gonna signal for Saphira to follow me. I'm gonna fly down and go, look, that's over there is probably the closest spot we can get to. I'm assuming we have to help you push this thing.
Yes, please.
All right, she drops down. I guess we should have Carousel steer, because he's the smallest one. Not gonna weigh a lot while we're pushing, but it is your cart, so up to you.
Yeah, I'll set it. I'll get it ready to all out of gear and all that good stuff. As I imagine he's probably not reaching the pedals. But yeah, and then when we're pushing, I'm gonna push at the just outside the driver door, so when it comes time to needing to stop it, I can get in and actually stop it.
Saphira takes her spot at the back to push.
So with all, who's gonna be who's leading this push of the Karthay?
I mean, I would guess if I'm metagaming a bit, it'd be Saphira.
Yeah, Pharos isn't pushing the cart unless someone asks him to.
Please and thank you.
I mean, I'm not going to be much
I'm
help.
pushing, but it's making minimal difference.
Literally,
that.
my exact thought is, we're not here to add our strength score. We're here to add a weight capacity to Saphira.
Alright, so I'm gonna need Saphira to roll a strength check at advantage and add a +3 to your roll.
21.
Alright, so y'all successfully and easily push this cart into its coverage area. But, truth be told, most of the pushing was done by Saphira.
I think Aurin would have helped a little bit. He is another Dragonborn.
I have an 11 in strength.
So no, it's not like y'all didn't put any effort. Y'all did. You guys look like you were all like pushing and heaving and hoeing, but it was Saphira that got it moving. Yeah, you greased the wheels.
All right, so this coverage spot, I'm guessing that's where we're gonna just set up camp for the night and call it a night.
Now, are you guys gonna take watch, or is it gonna be just y'all gonna pass the fuck out?
Anybody? We need to stay watch. We need to have watch. We need somebody to keep an eye out while we sleep in sleeping shifts.
Do you guys?
Yeah,
not need to sleep that much.
Saphira and Kerassil need a full 8 hours.
Going on, and I gotta work on this thing for a while.
Yeah, I can take. Well, yeah, I guess that's true. He does. But I only need 4 hours of sleep at night, so I can watch most of it.
I also only need 4.
Okay, so what I would suggest is Rogue take first watch since he's going to be working on shit anyway. That gives you your 4 hours.
He can't really work. He can't really work and watch at the same time, though.
So, I'll take the first watch. Pharaoh sleeps his 4 hours, and then he can relieve that one, and we can all rest. As long as we're not doing anything more than looking around, we should still be able to like recoup our abilities and stuff.
Since everyone said that, Pharaoh's like, cool. And if we have somewhere to like camp, I'm just gonna go take my nap then.
I kind of point at the Karthay and go, the seats are soft.
Negative. The seat is a wooden bench.
Never mind. Sleeping back on the dirt then.
I mean, if that's the case, Kerassil runs and jumps into a tree and goes into like the first crook of a big branch in the trunk, and then Saphira lays against the trunk at the base of it.
Yeah, I don't have anything, so I'm gonna be near Saphira and like sleep on the tree.
Do you not have a bedroll?
Nope.
I tossed you one.
Yeah, when I say Saphira's at the base of it, I mean she's literally like back against the tree, just kind of like curving into the roots up into the trunk. Like wherever Kerassil is, Saphira is not very far away.
Alrighty, then. So y'all set up camp, and Aurin is the one that's taking first watch, falling asleep. The night is quiet. You hear the sounds of the forest, some crickets, the wind, as you are getting in your rest. But as you are resting, Kerassil and Aurin suddenly are whisked away. At the very least, in their perception, they are no longer where they were. And standing
Are we together?
No, you are separate. Aurin, at this moment, is standing in a complete white void. But he is standing somehow on a surface that is not there. And he sees in front of him an older gentleman, a very old man, dressed in gray robes, with a long white beard, and no hair on his head, holding a gnarled old staff.
Hello, sir?
He looks at you with a smile, and he points his staff towards you, and then he points towards your book that you're holding. The book itself begins to glow slightly, ever so slightly, and as he smiles and turns away, a vision takes you once more to another location. You see fire, you hear screams, you see death, you see entire kingdoms engulfed in fire as these demons and shadows of beings that are winged fly all across the sky. Immediately, you smell brimstone, you smell fire, you smell blood, you feel dread in your heart as you hear the words echoing in the distance. Find your relic, and you are brought back, and it's as if nothing happened. Only a second has passed, and yet you felt as if an entire day has gone by.
Just because he's read so many stories, he actually opens his book and flips through it to see if there's any new entries in his book.
Now, as you look into this book, you see 4 different destinations. One that says Sancrist Isle. The second says Qualinesti. The third location is Tarses. And the final location is Karthay.
Does that look like a messenger from a god's walked up to me and said, "Hey, bitch"?
At the very least, you know that that is not a person.
I'm actually going to keep quiet for right now.
Now, Kerassil, whom was another one that was whisked away in this dream, sees the same figure in front of him in a void of white. A gentleman, an older man with a long white beard, gray clothing, no hair on his head, and a gnarled staff.
Where the fuck am I, and who the fuck are you, and what the fuck is going on?
He smiles at you, but there are no words, and he simply points with his staff towards your bow, which begins to glow.
Okay, glowing. No response. Glowy bow. Okay, still want to know what the fuck's going on.
And he begins to laugh, and as he laughs, you are whisked away, and rushing past you are images of war, of fire, of dragons, of a tree burning to the ground. And as you wake, you are back where you are. But only a few moments have passed. You've only slept for about no more than 5 minutes. And you're holding onto your bow, which wasn't in your hands before.
Does the bow look any different?
At the moment, the bow does not, but you do notice that it feels warm.
Okay, Kerassil looks around, looks at his bow, puts it... I mean, he leaves it in front of him because it's easier to sleep with a bow in front of you instead of on your back. And just kind of like tucks himself deeper into the bend of the tree and decides he's going to talk to Saphira about it in the morning.
Now, as the day and as the night rolls on by, this is where we're going to be ending this particular episode.
Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed today's episode of the DNdoofs. Let's take a second to say thank you to our cast. And thank you to you, the viewer. And if you enjoyed, please do remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more. And DNdoofs is recorded live on Twitch every other Friday. Check out the links if you want to continue to support us as a podcast. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you next time.